Hey, and welcome to today's broadcast. I'm popping in today because I was really inspired to dive into a conversation about the four elements of self mastery. I'm just going to make sure this is working on Facebook. There we go. Okay. So, first of all, I really want to talk about what is self mastery and what it isn't, because I think we get caught up in this word, this idea of mastery, and mastery has to mean perfection. And when I'm speaking about self mastery, it is so far from perfection that it's not even funny. But in these uncertain times, in what's going on in the collective right now, in all of this fear and chaos and disruption that we're experiencing in our world, understanding what self mastery is and what it isn't is really important for us in this very moment. Hey, Deb, nice to see you. Thanks for joining. So I also want to talk about why it's important that we have this level of self-mastery. And then I'll dive into a few practices that you can do that are so simple and so basic that you may think, really? That's it, Cindy? So let's dive in. So first of all, let's talk about what self-mastery isn't. Self-mastery is not perfection. Self-mastery is not trying to control what's going on in your world. Self-mastery is not trying to force things, trying to control things, having expectations of what things need to look like. Especially right now, we don't have control. We might get sick. We might have family members get sick. We aren't able to leave the house. We're stuck at home. There's a lot of things that we don't have control over. So releasing control is really important when it comes to self-mastery. Hello, B. Welcome. So what is self-mastery? First of all, self-mastery is simple. Let me repeat that. Self-mastery is simple. It does not have to be complicated. It does not have to be this big, long thing that takes you all day long to figure out. Okay. And I'm going to share some very specific tools that you can use in your day-to-day life that are going to help you bring a new level of self-mastery to your world so that you can navigate these uncertain times. Because navigating it is 100% possible. And I promise you that. Okay. Why is it important? Self-mastery is important. And there's this old adage, you got to put your oxygen mask on first before you help the person beside you on the airplane. That's what's happening right now, is that we want to help. We want to serve. We want to show up for the world. And we want to lead in a way that's supportive and helps other people. We want to express love. But if our level of self-mastery isn't there, hi, Elaine, if our level of self-mastery isn't there, then we can't help the other people in the world. So we need to focus on us first. And I know this goes against everything that a lot of people believe but it's so selfish to focus on my own self-care first. Bullshit. Kick that belief to the curb right now. Hello, Ellen. Okay. So we need to focus on, first and foremost, what's going on here. And when you get a level of mastery there, then you can go and help. Then you can show up for others. Having that level of self-mastery in place first is the key. Okay. So it is not control. It is important to help yourself first. And it is simple. Okay. I want you to remember that in all of this conversation. Hi, Jen. All right, so let's dive into the four elements of self-mastery and what this looks like. So there's four elements: air, earth, water, and fire. There we go. I have some notes. So, and there's other elements, but I'm going to keep it simple. Keep to those four basic elements and how you can use these elements to remind yourself throughout the day. Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that, Cindy said, right? Okay, so let's start with the first one, air. Am I breathing? The majority of us spend our time, especially when we're stressed out or not paying attention, breathing here. Pause for a moment and take a deep breath. Just that moment alone is another level of self-mastery. So take a deep breath. Pause. breathe, be present, and check in. Giving yourself the gift of a deep breath throughout the day is going to support you in ways that you can't even imagine or understand. So focus on your breathing. When I first started doing this kind of work, I would set reminders in my phone. So if you're forgetful, if you get caught up in the chaos, if you're just not paying attention and not present in the moment, set a reminder in your phone. Use the tools that you have available to you to remind you of these things. We are caught up in habits. We are habitual beings. And if we forget, then we just keep going down the same path, right? So use what you have available to you to remind you. Post-it notes all over your house, reminders in your phone. Ask the people that live in your home to remind you. Get them in the game too. Get them breathing with you. Okay. This is about slowing down. It's about presence. It's about being aware. And it's about that pause. And we all collectively need to take a deep breath right now. A few other things that you can do to support yourself with the element of air: get fresh air. You are not banned from going outside. So go out on your patio, go out in your backyard, get some fresh air. Just stand outside for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, and just breathe in some fresh air. Or if it's available to you, go for a drive somewhere out into nature where there's no other people. Social distancing is important, but get some fresh air. Really important. There are a few other things you can do. You can use thieves oil. You can diffuse thieves oil. Thieves oil is notorious for really helping open up the airways. Now, disclosure, I am no oil expert. I am not a medical expert. So make sure that you are using it with awareness. Don't just do it because I said to do it. If you're not sure, reach out to somebody who's an expert around essential oils. Ask your medical professional. But I prefer to use thieves oil because I know it opens up the airwaves, opens up my breathing, and really supports in that fresh air. Okay. Any questions on air? I would love to know about that. Okay. Let's dive into the next element: earth. Earth is about getting grounded. Now, if you don't know what being grounded means, it's about being connected to the earth. We are hugely connected as human beings to the earth and what's going on. And you can feel if you're not grounded, if you're scattered, overwhelmed, if you feel a little lightheaded, if you're kind of anxious. Those are those feelings of not being grounded. So if you are feeling that, practicing grounding is going to be very supportful. I'm just going to make shit up now. Supportive for you during this time and all the time. Grounding is a practice that I use daily. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. If you have it available to you, again, this supports air too. Go outside, stick your bare feet in the grass. Fastest way to ground. Just take a few deep breaths and just imagine your feet going into the ground. Imagine yourself rooted into the ground. Imagine the energy from your body through your feet into the earth and being supported by the earth. Okay? You don't have to go outside. If you don't have that available to you, if you are sick and you can't leave your home, you can do it inside your home. So just imagine that the floor of your home is the earth. Your brain doesn't know the difference. And ground into the earth. Lay flat on your back. That's also a really helpful one. I love to just starfish sometimes and just flat out and just lay there and just breathe, feeling supported by the earth beneath you. Okay. A few other tips and tricks. You can use plant medicine. So plant some seeds. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's springtime. It is time to plant things. Go play in the dirt. Okay. And as you're doing that, imagine yourself being connected to the earth. Hug a tree, touch a tree. If you can't go outside, get a house plant and nurture that plant. There's all sorts of different ways to ground. You can do it through breathing, which supports the air element as well, but there's lots of different ways. So hopefully that one makes sense. If you have any questions, please reach out. Hey, Heather. All right, water. Now this one's really important. Water is an emotional element. So as human beings, we have this ability to pick up on emotions that are around us, the emotions from other people, and we have our own emotions. And sometimes we don't know the difference. But what's really important here is not whether it's yours or someone else's. What's really important is that you are giving space for your emotions. If you imagine this 5-year-old little girl or little boy who's just trying desperately to get your attention, and they're like, Mom, Mommy, Mom, Mommy, 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 and they're freaking out and you're not paying attention, it gets louder and louder and louder until finally you're like, what? And the little girl or the little boy just goes, hi. That's your emotions trying to get your attention. So again, if you are present, if you are giving yourself the gift of a deep breath throughout the day, and you're giving yourself the gift of grounding, you're going to start noticing your emotions more and more and more. But the important thing is that we don't want to just shove those emotions under the carpet and pretend they don't exist, because they do exist and we need to acknowledge them. If you shove them under the carpet and pretend they don't exist, you are triggering your nervous system and creating a lower immune system for yourself. So in this time especially, but all times, we need to make sure that our nervous system is kept calm by managing our emotions so that our immune system can be enhanced. That's the word I'm looking for. So we want to make sure that we are acknowledging our emotions. If you are feeling fear, anxiety, stress, chaos, overwhelm, anger, frustration, hatred, judgment, comparison, any of these emotions, if you are feeling them, be okay with feeling them. Don't judge it. Just notice it. That's all you need to do. And then in that awareness, you have a choice. You can choose to hang on to it, or you can choose to let it go. And in choosing to let it go, you're going to use the fire element. So I'll get to that. So you'll want to stay tuned. But in choosing to let it go, all you need to do is be willing to let it go. That is all. In that willingness, you will feel it release. And I'll talk about the fire element in a little bit as to how you can enhance that a little bit more. But give yourself the gift of acknowledging what's going on. You can't just pretend it doesn't exist and act like an ostrich and stick your head under the sand. I mean, we're in chaos. The world doesn't know what's happening right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. So it would make sense that you feel some fear and some chaos. And that's okay. Be okay with feeling that. But be willing to let it go. Now, if you're the opposite and you're feeling happiness and joy and bliss and excitement and anticipation for what's coming in this cleanse, then share that with the world. The world deserves for you to give that gift. We need your happiness. We need your love. We need your compassion. So if you are feeling on that spectrum of the emotional scale, go share that with the world and give them the gift of that. Okay? Another few things with the water element: drink lots of water. Oh, yes, Shelly, please share this out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Much love. Please share. Okay. Drink lots of water. It's good for the immune system. It's good for you overall. It helps keep you healthy. It helps flush out toxins. It helps all the things. So you should be drinking at least 8 glasses of water every day anyways. Not many of us do. So please drink all the water and flush out the toxins, flush out all of the things. You have no idea how connected you are to all of this that's going on. And the more that you take care of you and be self-masterful and drink water, the more you're helping the collective. Okay? All right. Few other things you can do. Showers. If you're feeling the tension in the back of your shoulders, if you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world, go have a hot shower and stand with your back and the water beating on your back. And imagine that the energy that you're carrying, that weight of the world, is just floating off your back, flowing down the drain and gone. The water is just washing it off of you. I promise you, I do this every day and it's amazing. It gets rid of that tension in the shoulders and it feels so good. Also, Epsom salt baths, like every second day or every day. Highly recommend Epsom salt baths. Okay? All right. That's water. So if you have any questions about that, I have hair in my mouth. I'm getting so excited. Okay. Fire. Fire is my favorite element. For anybody who has followed me or knows me, I like to burn shit. So the fire element has so many different aspects to it. The first one I want to talk about is how you can use it to manage your emotions. So as I was speaking in the water element, if you're getting caught up in the chaos, the overwhelm, the fear, the noise, all of that, and you're really feeling that, and you've decided that you're willing to let it go, you can use the fire element to help catapult that. And in doing so, it'll release faster. Okay, so use it through creative expression or movement. And this is what the fire element is all about. It's about taking that emotional chaos that you're feeling and moving it out into something else. It's called a transmutation. So what you're doing is you're feeling chaos, put it on paper, write, draw, paint, and just allow it to flow out into whatever expression it needs to be. Or dance around the living room. You can't leave your house? Living room dance party. Get it out of your body. We hold our emotions in our body, and through creative expression, without attachment to outcome, we have the ability to transmute that energy, that emotion, out into the physical and let it go. Okay? So any kind of creative expression, drawing, painting, pottery, writing, scribbling, doodling, I don't care. Do whatever. It doesn't matter what it looks like. You don't ever have to show it to anybody, but go transmute that energy. Okay. Now, if you're feeling bliss, do this too. Always do this. The more creative you can be in this time and any time, the better. You're giving your gift of creativity to the world. So no matter how you're feeling, creative expression is important. Movement of the body is important. Now, if you're unable to have a dance party, maybe it's a little bit of gentle yoga or gentle stretching. Maybe you can go for a walk. If you can't go outside, maybe you just walk up and down your stairs or walk up and down the hallway. Get on the phone with a dear friend and have a conversation. But instead of sitting there, walk back and forth up and down the hallway. Move your body in any way that you can. Okay. Another great way to use the fire element is to burn shit. This is one of my favorite things to do. And many of you who have worked with me know this practice. This is something that I learned from my mentor, Joy Kingsborough. And we use this forgiveness process. So the Ho'oponopono, I always pronounce that wrong. Sorry for botching it. We use this forgiveness prayer to help transmute and forgive any energies that we are carrying. So I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And you can write a forgiveness letter. You can chant this. You can do whatever. But my favorite is a forgiveness letter. So I always go to forgiveness to myself first, because I know that I'm connected to the collective. And in forgiving myself, this is that self-mastery piece, putting your own oxygen mask on first, right? So go to forgiveness to yourself first. I was feeling judgment about that person that bought 3 packages of toilet paper. Okay. We do it. We're human. It's okay. Dear Cindy, I love you for feeling concerned about the level of toilet paper available to us right now. I'm sorry that I ever believed that there wasn't enough to go around, and I'm so sorry for judging that person for hoarding. Please forgive me for ever believing that that person was wrong or incorrect. I love you for being human. Forgiveness. Write it down, put it in the fire, burn it. Burning is my favorite thing to do. So lots of different ways to use these elements. I do hope that this was helpful. Please do share this out if you feel that more people need to see this. Self-mastery is my passion. And I believe that each and every one of us has a responsibility to practice it a little bit more. You will never be fully self-masterful because every time you reach a new level, you'll reach for another and another and another. But what if you could be 1% more self-masterful today? What if you could just choose one of these elements and play with it for the day? And then tomorrow, add in the next element. And then the next day, add in the next. This does not have to be hard. This does not have to be difficult. Breathe. Meditate. That's a great one to pull into the air element, is meditation, and grounding, earth too. Meditation goes into all of the elements, just saying. Okay, breathe, ground yourself, practice emotional mastery, and move the energy, either through creative expression or movement or both. Thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful. Please do reach out if you're struggling, if you're having problems, if you want support. I am here and I am holding space for each and every one of you. And I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.